Here on Football Manager 2015. We're back. We're still with Witbank Spurs, despite speculation against. We're right at the end of 2015, so we've vamped straight through the first part of the season, and there's a lot to look back on for the club since you saw me last, which was in the middle of the summer, just after our first season had completed, where we had finished 14th. The main thing that happened over the summer was this: dropping back to a semi-professional club from professional, just because we couldn't really afford it anymore, which has unfortunately meant we've had to drop to a 1.5-star reputation club, which isn't great. But I think for the overall finances of the club, it was a kind of cost cut that had to be made, and we did so. So that was that. Suppose we should get into the transfers next. Not much going on actually on the ins. Fair few on the outs though. All of these guys on freeze. The only ones to really look at: Cleopas Dube, who's actually retired as a player since leaving, which is a bit disappointing because he had a bit to offer, I thought. But he's retired. Dumasani Gamid, he's also retired. He's become a scout. There were our two strikers last year. Simpi Ntambella as well. He retired. So a lot of these guys have retired, including Mansendi Pue, Spazio Mbanani. Is he still going? No, he's retired as well. So a lot of these guys have just decided to hang up their boots, probably thinking that being released by Witbank Spurs is probably the low of all lows. Might as well look into where they are. I don't think any of them are players anymore. No, this guy is Dr. Shoskana. Moved to Vasco CT. He didn't actually play last year, and yet he's the only one who seems to have gotten himself a team. Now this guy's still playing, Sabeko. That seems to be it though. So it's a bit kind of disheartening to see that sort of stuff happening. Only 3 coming in. We'll start with this guy because he hasn't really worked out at all. Jack Bamniga. He's a Cameroon international. We brought him in, but he can't play because he doesn't have a work permit. Despite me applying for a work permit when we were trying to sign him, and it kind of went through and all that, but he somehow doesn't. Anyway, he doesn't have it, so that's disappointing. But nonetheless, he can't play, which is a bit of a downer. But he's on a non-contract, so he's not actually taking any wages. Same with this guy, Miguel van Uitstorn. I think that's South African, yeah. He's on a non-contract as well. He's only played 1 or 2 appearances, 3 appearances off the bench. Just a backup player, really. He's not. Well, I suppose he's not bad for backup, but you know he's not going to feature in the team too much. Then the only first-team signing really made was Dumasani Ngenwa, who's been playing up front for me. He's got some decent enough stats. He's not been bad. 6 in 15 overall. Like you look at that, he's quite good in the. He's not got great composure though. Apart from that, his attacking stats aren't too bad. One cap for South Africa as well. He was fairly chunky on the wages, but with the lack of other people coming in, we were able to kind of just about afford that. Also, what I didn't realise was I didn't show you the January transfer signings from last year, which was bad of me. This guy, we brought in Tato Sitole, who didn't really play, and he's gone straight back. Francois Adams, he's still around. Can play left back or centre back. He was kind of back up to Luben Zadio, but he's had to be used a fair bit because Luben Zadio picked up an injury. He's got decent actually centre back stats, but his left back, he's pretty shit as a left back to be honest, and it's shown with his rating 6.44 in 9 games. Not the best. And also this guy Kikas, who's an Angolan international. He's been much better. 34 years old, again an old guy. Got some decent defending stats. 15 games, 6.62 rating. It's not great, but our defence has been poor enough. So I suppose there's no real surprises in those low ratings. Anyway, we might as well just go straight into the games now. And pre-season, we'll just briefly go through that. We beat Winners Park 3-0. Lost 2-1 to Polokwane City. Beat M Tigers 4-2. Drew 2-2 with Black Aces. Beat Tux 4-3. And beat Newcastle Sicilians 4-0. So we go into the league campaign here. And as you can see, it hasn't been too bad actually. And we've beaten quite good. Started off the campaign away at FC Cape Town, and we managed to win that game 2-0. Ranga Chivaviro and Randy Ngobi scoring. You'll see later that Randy Ngobi's been on fire this year, and that was a good way to start the season with a nice 2-0 win. Then played Blackburn, South Africa, who have been promoted from, I suppose, non-league to compensate for whatever Cape Town All Stars and Tandaroa Zulu going down last year. They've been one of the kind of automatic teams promoted. We managed to beat them 2-0. Same scores, Ranga Chivaviro and Randy Ngobi both scoring, which is good to see. Then travelled to Santos FC, where we picked up a really fantastic 4-2 win. Sabelo Niembi, Randy Ngobi, Matlasi Mlabine and Dumasani Ngenwa scoring his first for the club in a great win against Santos, which was a tough enough game. Then played Stars of Africa, the other kind of generated promoted side. Beat them 4-2. We were 4-0 up at half time, so it was pretty easy stuff, to be honest. Matlasi Mlabine, a brace for Ranga Chivaviro and Sabelo Niembi also scoring to give us a comfortable win and give us 4 wins from 4. We were then kind of took back to reality with a crushing 6-1 defeat at FS Stars. Lela Nolo Basika, who's actually one of our youngsters, 17 years old, as you can see. He's got decent enough potential. He's a decent enough player for this level, but he scored his first ever goal for the club. But it was a real onslaught for FS Stars. Ruben Tabankang, brace for Rudolf Bester, Abdul Bazit Adam, Mazazula Lubenzadio on goal, and Sabusio Mitetwa scoring. It was 6-1 at half time, and they actually probably just took the foot off the gas, and it finished 6-1. We did, though, fight back really well to get a draw next week at home to Black Leopards, who are one of the best teams in the league. Thabo Mongalo giving them the lead, but Dumasani and Genwa almost instantly equalised, which is actually a really good result, considering also that Randy Ngobi got injured after around 7 minutes, which was really disappointing, but at least it wasn't a long-term injury, which meant Randy could play on. He wasn't out for months or anything like that. The next game, we did lose 4-2 away at Royal Eagles, which was a disappointing result. Ranga Chivavira with a brace for ourselves. He's not been too bad, but Royal Eagles just showed too much quality on the day, and they picked up the win. Managed to beat, though, African Warriors 3-2 in our first win in 3 games, 4 games even. Randy Ngobi scoring a hat-trick, cancelling out Tsepo Bulu and a Kikas own goal. Ngobi's really been very good this year, I have to say. We then just missed out by losing 3-2 to Vasco CT, which is a really disappointing result, considering we were 2-0 up. Randy Ngobi scored a brace before Lucky Memziza, Karabo Rampai and Bantu Ngidi scored for Vasco. We then managed to beat Joma Cosmos 5-4 in a bonkers game. Dumasani Ngenwa scored a brace, Matlasi Mlabine and a brace for Randy Ngobi as well, giving us the 5-4 win in a bonkers game between us and Joma Cosmos, who we actually got offered the job to go there, but I rejected it because I wanted to kind of build up a bit more of a foundation here at Witbank Spurs. I wouldn't be surprised if I do move on as a manager from Witbank Spurs, because I don't think we'll be able to get possibly the guaranteed success here, but it would really have to be, I think, a Premiership club that would want me to move, because I think as long as we're in the first division, although all these teams seem to have kind of insecure finances, so I think we might as well stay here for the time being. We then unfortunately did lose, though, going back to the results, 3-1 to Gar Rankua United, despite taking a 1-0 lead through Lida Kula and Nkambuli. Lucky Boy Mokoena scored twice, and Cauldron Kutsi also scored. We then won another bonkers game, this time away at Highlands Park, 4-3. Randy Ngobi with a brace, Dumasani Ngenwa and Matlasi Mlabine with goals. Then probably our worst defeat, apart from the FS Stars game, was a 3-0 defeat at home to Baruch FC. Johans Ramatelija and Malondo Sikawivulu scored a brace. Just didn't turn up. We comfortably lost 3-0. We then did lose in our last league game, 3-1 to Golden Arrows. Randy Ngobi with an own goal this time. Siabango Lengothi made it 2-0 to Golden Arrows. We pulled them back relatively late on, with Matlasi Mlabine scoring from the penalty spot with 10 minutes to go. But Saviso Villakazi scored on the break in the 89th minute to give Golden Arrows the 3-1 win. And then another disappointing result in the South African Cup preliminary round. We lost 4-3 to Joma Cosmos. Dumasani Ngenwa, Ranga Chivavero and Gift Madigua for us. Charlton Mashumba, a brace for Sakile Longwa and Tobago Macabella, scoring for Drama Cosmos to make sure they advance. Anyway, looking at the league table, we're doing actually quite well, 14 games in. 22 points on the board, we're only 3 points away from third place, despite only being in 9th at the moment. The real positive is, though, that we are like 14 points already above the relegation spot, so I don't think there's any worry of kind of relegation this time around, which is good to see. If you have a look at the overall league player stats, you'll see that Randy Ngobi is there highly. He's got the highest average rating with 8.05, and as you can see here, 12 goals and 10 assists in the league, which is simply superb from Randy. And as you can see from his stats, I think they're increasing nicely. Yeah, they are. He's really just been on fire this year. If you have a look at the rest of the club, our own personal stats, though, Ngobi really leads the charts with 12. Chivavera's got 7, Ngenwa's got 6, Mlabean's 5, and Niembi's got 2. Top provider is also Ngobi with 10, Mlabean's got 6, and Nkambula's got 3. Top average rating, would you believe, Randy Ngobi. Gift Madiba's up there with 7.18, Nkambula 7.17, Niembi 7.14, Levine 7.05 and Chivavero 7.05 as well. All of those guys going over 7s. And the next episode will be right at the end of the season. Hopefully we can maybe get back into a bit of form and maybe even push for one of these playoff spots. Because if we got into a big game, I would live commentate it. But for now, it's not really any big games to live com. So I'm going to keep it as just this kind of report-based videos for now. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, I know we'll just quickly look at the finances. They're still in a bit of disastrous, really. 561 grand in the red. Projected to lose only 600 grand now, though it has gone down from a loss of 800 to 600. So I suppose there's a bit of hope there. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. I'll see you guys later.